Hello everyone, and I am here with a quick update, both about the channel and just kind of as a quick sort of PSA about the Humble Bundle that's up right now. There is a visual novel Humble Bundle on humblebundle.com from Sekai Project, and it is extremely applicable to this channel. If you're interested in this channel, then you're probably going to be interested in this bundle, assuming you don't just own, like, all the games. So I'm just going to quickly comb over what's included in the bundle. This isn't sponsored or anything, I just think it's an amazingly good deal. Not only do you get a bunch of, well, you know, a few really good games, as well as a few that I don't really know much about, but on the other hand, you also are supporting charity with, you know, with it, so that's always nice. And I'm just playing some Melty Blood here for a few minutes while I talk about this, just so I have something going on in the video. So ignore that, because I'm really bad. Anyway, we have, first of all, I'm sorry, I got Fate on the mind now. We have Fault Milestone 1, in the Pay What You Want tier. And Fault Milestone 1, I've played about 3 hours of it, but it seems like an extremely interesting game with a very rich universe. There's a very involved sort of magic system in the universe that they use and such as that. And it's been quite a while since I played it. Like I said, I've only played about 3 hours as well, so I don't remember it very well, honestly, but I believe you were, like, the guard of a princess named, Verona, anyway, it's something like that. I'm probably totally off, even about the name of the character. Like I said, it's been a while, and I've never streamed it or done anything like that, just played it in my own time. But anyway, it's the one I've definitely intended to go back to. It's one I would actually have liked to play for the channel, but unfortunately, the streaming policy that they have does not, is not one they don't want you to actually LP that game, so, it is what it is. One day I might review it, but I cannot actually stream it or, LP it. Then there is Kara, which is a game I don't really know much about, to be perfectly honest. Let's see if we can get her to actually fight back. CPU. I don't know if you can choose a difficulty setting, but anyway, this way they'll at least be fighting back. Kara, it looks like a very cutesy game. Maybe, I shouldn't say that it is a fluff game when I don't know anything about it, but just looking at the art and such as that, it kind of gives that impression. Let's see, let me pull up the summary here and see what they say. Okay, let us live on this land so arid. Okay, sorry, this is on my other monitor, so it's kind of hard to read from here. Kara, it is the sound of aridity. It is the sound of dry asphalt and sandy winds. It is the sound of relentless sunshine, as well as a sound of a withering race. The age of dusk. It is a time of sustenance for the human species, during which hybrids known as others, those who are human, yet not, exist in great numbers on the windswept barrens of land without moisture. A small gathering of people make their living in a world they no longer know. Down a stretch of highway and far from the heart of the town, two such people who run a small diner. To them, circumstances that reshape their world is... Hang on, I had to scroll down. Far less concerned than the number of lunchboxes they can load into a delivery vehicle. So it sounds like a little fantastical and a little bit, like, kind of like you're running a business with people? I don't know. Anyway, I don't want to spend too long on any one game, but, yeah, that's Kara. Then we have Nekopara, Volume 0, which is a little short. I believe this is a prologue after the first game was released. This is a cutesy game, very much so, about cat girls, basically. And I gotta admit, I'm kind of a fan of cat girls and such. So, hey, I can't say that I disapprove. Then we have Ame no Marginal, Rain Marginal, which is another one I don't know anything about, honestly. It's the latest short in a serious visual novel by Tomo Katakona, the author of Narusuku First and Second. So if you are a fan of Narcissu, I guess that's how you say it. I've never had to say that out loud. Anyway, then you might be interested. And that is the pay what you want tier. If you pay $1 or more, you will get those 4 games. Then there's the pay more than the average tier, which as of right now, when I'm recording this, is $10.16, but it probably will go up. In that bundle, we have Nekopara Volume 1, which is the original Nekopara game, which is, you know, again, the cat girl game. Then we have Idol Magical Girl Chiru Chiru Michiru, which is a side story, little silly fan disc of the Grisaya series, which is a game that I'm a fan of, I should say. I like it. It's a good game. Then we have Narcissu, 10th Anniversary Anthology Project. As well as, which, you know, that game, there's information about Narcissu all over, so just look that up, I'd say. Then we have Fault Milestone 2, which is the sequel to Fault Milestone 1, which I have not touched, even though I own it, after, you know, seeing that, I don't remember if I got that actually in a bundle with the first one, or if I played a little bit of the first one and just got this when it was on sale. Anyway, I do that sometimes. I'll see something's on sale and be like, I'll get to that eventually, and then I don't play it. Anyway, then we have Sound of Drop Fall into Poison, which is one I know absolutely nothing about. Reviews are very positive. Nestled in the heart of Tokyo, the quaint little aquarium, Mantam Aquarium, numerous urban legends have arisen from here. On the night of the full moon, waters turned to blood and man-faced fish lurk within. Okay, that's different. Junior high school students Mayu and Himono came to Mankin Aquarium to investigate these urban legends. The beginning was fun, but then they see a glimpse of Mayu's missing little sister, Mari. The wheels begin turning as they chase after Mari's shadow. Okay, so it sounds like kind of maybe a horror mystery title that takes place in an aquarium, which kind of reminds me of Ever 17. But anyway, then we have Highway Blossoms, which is another one I don't know anything about. Looks like it might be a Yuri title by the looks of the art here. Then we have a game called Japanese School Life, which is another one I'm not familiar with. Are we seeing a trend here? Yeah, I haven't followed the VN scene anywhere near as closely these past couple of years. Anyway, I'm not gonna... That one's got probably the lowest review of any of the games I looked at. It's just positive instead of very positive or overwhelmingly positive, which leads me to believe that I'm not going to be too interested in a likelihood. So that's it for the the more than average tier. Then we have the pay $12 or more tier, which is the highest tier, which is a fantastic deal because in this tier you kind of get the games that I think are most interesting, as a general rule at least. There's Nekopara Volume 2, which is the sequel to Nekopara Volume 1, of course, and more cutesy cat girl action in that one. And then there's the World End Economica series. You get all 3 games from this series, which I actually I finished very recently. And I played the first one, excuse me, shortly after it originally came out, and I wasn't a huge fan. Actually, this is a series I considered doing a review on, but Lord knows when I'll end up actually doing another review, so why don't we just I'll give you a quick rundown of my opinion right here. The first game, not great. The protagonist is extremely obnoxious in my opinion, but that's actually intentional. And the game is heavily economic based, so if you don't have patience for numbers and for a lot of vocabulary terms and relating to stocks and economics and such, then you'll probably have your eyes gloss over when you play this game. It can be very dry and honestly kind of boring for stretches of time. In particular, the first one I kind of found rather dull. for actually a large portion of the game. That said, the second game and third game are more interesting in my opinion. I don't really know which one I prefer. I feel like the second one might be my favorite, but anyway, these are interesting games. They have an interesting premise and world in them. It takes place on the moon. So, you know, you may be interested in it, particularly if you have a penchant for economics. I, you know, kind of feel like that goes without saying, but if you were interested in economics and you're like, hey, this is an economic visual novel, this might tickle your fancy. Then we have Idol Magical Girl Chiru Chiro Michiru Part 2, which is very nice because you got the first part in the pay more than average tier, so this way you get both of them at the same time. And honestly, I was interested in this when it came out, but I never got it because I thought it was way overpriced. So this is another game that I'm interested in getting just because I enjoyed Grisaya, and this is a silly fan disc based on Michiru, which Michiru is freaking hilarious if you've never played Grisaya. So, yeah. Can't resist getting this one. The bundle, honestly, just for those games alone, I'm like, this is a good deal. But anyway, then we have Memory's Dogma Code 01, which is a game I don't know anything about, honestly. It says it's a near-future sci-fi suspense drama, or rather adventure, and I'm not going to harp on that one just because I know nothing about it. And also the reviews are only positive, so, you know, maybe more middling than a lot of the games on the list. But I could be wrong. Who knows? Then we have Root Double Before Crime After Days Extend Edition, which is a hell of a name. But this is honestly the main reason I would recommend this bundle if you do not have this game. Because I've heard amazing things about this game, and I've been just basically waiting for an opportunity because I'm cheap, and I've been waiting for a good sale, basically, to get this game. Because I've heard it is fantastic, and I'm very eager to play it. Unfortunately, this is another game that they don't want you to stream, so I'm not going to be able to do it. I might review it at some point, though, just because, again, I have heard a lot of good things about it, and I'm very interested to play it myself. And then finally, in this tier, we also have Sunrider Liberation Day, Captain's Edition, which I have done a full-length review, and probably my favorite review that I've done. Just because, you know, it's much more modern than my older stuff, so it's of a bit more of high quality in terms of editing and stuff. In my opinion, your mileage may vary, but anyway, I have middling feelings on Sunrider. Maybe not middling, but mixed feelings on it. I feel like it definitely succeeds and fails in some degrees, or some areas, but it's definitely, I mean, when you're getting it for $12 along with all these other games, I feel like it's a great deal. So, yeah, that is that. That is the Humble Bundle, Sekai Project Humble Bundle, full of visual novels, and highly recommended by me, if you're so inclined. Now that we finished that, I did want to kind of do a quick channel update, basically on some things that I am thinking about, and I would like to get some opinions on this if, you know, you guys have stuck with me throughout this long in the video. This has actually gone on longer than I intended because I tend to ramble. First of all, for the games that I will be playing next, either along with or after I finish Danganronpa If, there is a few games I have in mind, and I'd like to get any feelings on these games from you guys if you have them. And just to kind of get a general idea of where interest lies outside of myself. So there's 5 games I have listed here that I'm kind of considering. Some of them are actually from this bundle. First of all, we have Ace Academy, which is actually an English language visual novel that is very funny. I've actually played it before, but I did enjoy it, and I kind of feel like it's humorous, and it would be kind of a good contrast, because I tend to... I play a lot of semi-serious games, you know, or games that have, you know, like humor, but then flow into drama. But, you know, they generally take themselves seriously. Ace Academy is a very silly game. It does have its serious points, but it is more about the comedy than it is anything, really. Then there is Amnesia Memories, which is a game I've not played, but it's actually an Otome game. And it's one I've owned for a long time, but I've only played like 10 minutes of. And I've kind of been meaning to take a closer look at it, and, you know, this channel has not really necessarily been equal opportunity towards Otome games. You know, but I'm... More than anything, I'm interested in games that have a heavy story / character focus. So I don't really care necessarily if it's about, you know, the guys or girls, so long as the characters are well presented and the story is interesting. And this game was actually... It just had pretty good reviews at the time I bought it, and was really cheap because it was on a good sale, I remember. And I have it. So with that in mind, I'm kind of like, well, you know, I haven't played it, so it would be blind, which would be nice, and I don't really know anything about it. So, you know, that's something that could be interesting to try out if anyone is interested, if the interest is there, I should say. Then there's The Fruit of Grisaya. This game, actually, for a long time, it had a streaming / let's play policy. They didn't want you to stream it past, I think, past like the demo, the prologue, which there's no point to even do. There's a lot of games the Sekai Project kind of do that, you know, they don't want you to stream past the point, and I'm kind of like, there's absolutely no reason to even bother then, because, you know, why? That's just a tease, honestly. At that point, you're basically just doing the demo work for the company. You know, I just don't want to tease my audience like that and then not deliver through. I mean, that's fine. I feel like if I'm doing like a let's look at sort of formula, it's like, hey, here's like a quick hour of this game to see if you might be interested. But if I'm doing a let's play, I want to do the whole thing, even if it's just a single route, because a lot of times I don't want to do like every route just because I want there to be something still there for you to experience if you decide I like this game and I'd like to support it. But anyway, I am interested in playing that. I have played it before, but I have not played... There's one route I haven't played. I haven't played Amane's route in the game, which is kind of the main route, honestly, and I was saving that basically for last. I played the game when it was still fan-translated and not officially translated, and I did enjoy it. I thought it was really good, and I've not played the sequels to the game. So yeah, that's another one that I feel like not only would be potentially interesting to Let's Play, but there's also sequels, so there would be follow-ups and stuff, you know, kind of like with Danganronpa, where, you know, I'm definitely going to be playing Danganronpa V3 when that comes out on the channel, just because it's more Danganronpa, and I really enjoyed it, and the reception towards the games has seemed, you know, generally good, so of course I would. Then there's Lucid 9, which I believe is sort of a murder mystery, that was designed sort of as like a doujin project. I believe that's how it worked. I haven't really looked into it a ton. I think they're eventually planning to release a voice patch as well, but I don't think that's come out. Even still, if there is interest, I would be interested in playing more of that. I played just a little of it, but I don't really have much of an impression yet. I think I played like 20-25 minutes, so very, very early. I just kind of basically got a taste of it to see what it was like. And finally, the Nekopara games. We could have some silly cat girl fun on this channel, if you guys would like. I'm not opposed to that. We have definitely dealt with the insanity of Danganronpa for quite a long time, so hey, maybe it would be nice to have something silly and lighthearted, again, you know, like either Nekopara or Ace Academy. Grisaya is also very silly for the first half of the game, but then, much like a lot of, you know, it's kind of like the format of a key game. You know, there's like the common route, which is extremely silly and just full of character antics, and then you get into kind of the latter half, which is all drama based on the scenario of the heroine who you choose. So, kind of like that. But anyway, if you guys would let me know if you have any opinions, basically, on what we would be doing next with any of those games. If you're interested, let me know. If you have other recommendations, let me know those as well. I am trying to kind of abide by these streaming / Let's Play policies that, if I know about them, at least, for these games. So, you know, bear that in mind. There are games that I would like to LP that I'm kind of like, oh, well, I can't at this point. So it kind of is what it is. Anything else? I feel like that's it. I think it is. So if you watched this far, thanks for listening to me ramble. I hope you got something out of the Humble Bundle notes, assuming you didn't know about it or you don't basically have all the good games in the bundle already. And as always, thank you guys very much for watching. I'll see you all next time.